Hello, everyone. Welcome to Barca News. It is April 5th, 2025, and Barcelona believe that they have found a solution to the VIP seat deal debacle. Also, Hansi Flick has requested from the club to expedite the building of a first team residence. And finally, Barcelona are reportedly considering Moise Kean as a replacement for Robert Lewandowski. We have a lot to discuss. So let's begin. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mo, and I'm bringing you this short live because I'm currently out of the country. I'm not home. I'm not in my YouTube studio, so I cannot film, edit, and upload videos. So instead, I've been doing these short lives to keep you up to date on all Barcelona news. This is not a podcast, so unfortunately, I will not be addressing a comment section. However, I will be back home on Sunday. And that, of course, means that it's going to be back to your regularly scheduled videos and, of course, your regularly scheduled podcasts on Mondays, Wednesdays, on Fridays, which, of course, it's my favorite day because I do get to interact with you lovely people in the comment section. Anyways, having said all that, let's dive right into the news because Barcelona believe that they have found a solution for the VIP deal. Now, as you know, Barcelona sold the rights to the VIP seats at the new Spotify Camp Nou in exchange for 100 million euros in order to be able to register Dani Olmo and Pau Victor, which of course eventually was not enough. Barcelona had to go to the CSD and litigate the case to get the players both registered, which Barcelona have won. However, the 100 million euros from the seats meant that Barcelona had reached the 1-1 rule after many, many years of not being able to be under the 1-1 rule. But a few days ago, as I reported in a previous video, La Liga announced that the 100 million euros from the VIP seats deals were not going to count, and as such, Barcelona's salary limit was going to be reduced, and Barcelona was once again no longer under the 1-1 rule. Now, why is that? That's because Barcelona had to hire an auditor who went through all the paperwork, went through all Barcelona's finances, and the auditor called Crow Spain decided that the 100 million euros from the VIP seat deal could not count as income. Why? Because technically, these assets don't exist yet. The seats don't exist yet. The Spotify Camp Nou is not done being constructed. It has not reopened. Fans cannot go there. People cannot use those VIP seats. So since those assets don't exist yet, the auditor decided that the 100 million euros from those seats cannot be used as income. And as such, La Liga decided to reduce Barcelona's wage limit. And of course, Barcelona are no longer under the 1-1 rule. Now, some people are kind of confused. They're saying, how can that be? Well, imagine this. Imagine you decide you're going to build an investment property. You're going to build an apartment building. You're going to rent out those apartments to tenants, right? And then you go and let's say you apply for a separate loan. And in that loan, in the application, you have to put all your sources of income. So you list your job. You list, I don't know, maybe you have other businesses. And then you list that apartment building that you plan to build in the future and that you plan to make money. The bank is going to say, sorry, you can't count that as income. Why? Because that building has not been built yet. Once you build it, once you have tenants in it, and once those tenants are paying you rent, then you can count that rent as income. So the same thing here is the auditor is saying, look, those seats don't exist yet. Therefore, you cannot count that as income towards a financial fair play. Now, Barcelona have found a solution, or at least they're hoping that this is going to be a solution because Barcelona need to figure out this by June 30th. Remember, June 30th is the end of the fiscal year for clubs in La Liga. That's when all clubs submit their paperwork of how much money they've made, how much money they've spent. And based on that, La Liga issues them new salary limits, new financial fair play. So Barcelona have until June 30th to figure this out. And well, they think that the VIP seats will be built by May. So Barcelona are hoping that the VIP seats are built by May. And since this auditor is saying that you cannot count the 100 million euros as income because the seats are not built, they're hoping that by May, once they're built, they can go back to the auditor and say, look, You said we can't count it because it wasn't built. Well, guess what? Now it's built. Please count it. And if the auditor agrees, then La Liga would count those 100 million euros as income for Barcelona. And as such, Barcelona, would be able to achieve the 1-1 rule once again. Because remember, Barcelona are looking to reinforce the center forward position, the left wing, 2 fullbacks, and not being under the 1-1 rule. That, of course, means trouble. Now, more news, because, ladies and gentlemen, Hansi Flick has reportedly requested that Barcelona accelerate the building of a first-team residence. Now, this is something we talked about several weeks ago. Hansi Flick has changed a lot of things around the team. He's changed how the team trains, has changed how the team diets. For example, they have daily weigh-ins where the players have to weigh in at a certain weight, and if they don't, they get fined. He changed even small things, like, for example, he changed all the pictures at the training facilities that replaced them with pictures of, Barcelona lifting the Champions League, lifting trophies, because he wanted the players, as soon as they arrive at the training facilities, to be, in that mindset that this is a great club, a club that has won a lot, and as such, I need to be up to the standards. Another thing that Hansi Flick has decided to change is he has requested from Barcelona to build a first-team residence, a building where the first-team players can sleep, can live in, not permanently, of course, they have their own houses, but a place where they could stay. And the news is that Barcelona's board of directors have approved this plan. They have approved the plan to build the residence, and Flick has requested for this request to be expedited. Now, Barcelona are going to have to spend 6 million euros on building this residence, and it's going to be built at the Ciudad Esportiva, the sporting complex. It's going to be built where currently pitch number 2 exists, which is the pitch closest to where the players train. So instead of that pitch, they're going to build the residence. It's going to cost 6 million euros, and, it might not be a lot of money for a club like Barca, but given the financial situation of Barcelona, they do want to finance it through sponsorship. So instead of having to pay their own 6 million out of their own pockets, they're going to look for sponsors, have the sponsors pay for it, and I'm sure the sponsors' names will appear on that building. Now, you might say, Mo, what's the point of this residence? Players obviously have their own residence. Well, it has 2 main purposes. Number 1 is to optimize the players' rest and recovery. For example, players sometimes play very late matches and they come back very late at night. For example, the Champions League, right? Matches are usually played 9 p.m. local time. If it's an away match, the match ends at 11 p.m. The players do their press conferences, they shower, they change, they hop on the bus. The bus takes them directly to the airport. They fly to Barcelona. From the airport in Barcelona, they take the bus to the Ciudad Esportiva, and then from there, they take their personal cars home. By then, it's maybe 1, 2, maybe 3 a.m. in the morning. Instead of driving for an hour to go home, you would just stay at the residence, sleep there, and recover. Because usually the following day after a match, there's training, right? There's an activation session. So now instead of driving home for an hour, then the next day driving another hour back to the training session, you sleep at the residence, you save yourself 2 hours. Those 2 hours you can sleep, recover, and feel better. The second purpose for these residents is, well, it cuts the necessity of booking hotels. That's another thing that Hansi Flick changed. Before, the players when they played home matches, they would drive from their home to the stadium, they would play the match. Hansi Flick changed that. He does now pre-match meetings where the players stay at a hotel the night before. Even though it's a home match, they still at a hotel, kind of to build camaraderie. The players are together, they're staying together, they're in that team mindset, and then they have a meeting before the match. So now instead of having to book hotels every time you have a home match, guess what? The players can stay in the residence. They can have a pre-match meeting. Boom, problem solved, money saved. Now, more news because, ladies and gentlemen, Barcelona are reportedly eyeing Moise Kean. Now, if you don't know who Moise Kean is, he's a 25-year-old center forward currently playing at Fiorentina. He was previously at Juventus, did not go very well for him. So he made a move to Fiorentina that cost Fiorentina around 30 million euros. They bet on him, and well, he has repaid them back, scoring 20 goals so far this season. Now, given his success at Fiorentina, Barcelona are now considering Moise Kean as a possible replacement for Robert Lewandowski, because not only is Moise Kean a mobile center forward, which is something that Barcelona are looking for, but he can also play on both wings, on the right wing and the left wing. So he could also be a great sub for both Lamine Yamal and Jules Koundé. So not Jules Koundé, Rafinha, Lamine Yamal and Rafinha. So Barcelona consider that Moise Kean is someone that can fulfill what they're looking for, and as such, they currently are considering his signing. Now, how much can Moise Kean cost? Well, Moise Kean does have a release clause worth 52 million euros. However, that release clause is only good from July 1st to July 15th. Anytime before or anytime after, there's no release clause. So Barcelona could negotiate whatever price Fiorentina would agree to. Now, Moise Kean does have a contract until 2029. So negotiations outside of the release clause could still be expensive. However, as you know, Barcelona are not in a hurry to sign a replacement for Lewandowski. They're looking more because Lewandowski is staying until 2026. Ferran Torres is doing a great job as a substitute. So they could end up waiting until the summer of 2026 to try to negotiate a lower price for the 25-year-old attacker. Now, I am curious to hear, do you guys think Moise Kean would be a good fit? Let me know down below in the comment section. And the last bit of news we're going to talk about in this video is regarding Jonathan Tah, because it's reported that Liverpool has reached out to the German player. As you know, Tah's contract expires at the end of the season with Bayer Leverkusen. He's not going to renew. He's going to be a free agent. It seemed that he was headed to Barcelona, but Barcelona decided to freeze this operation because they have way too many center backs. And unless one of those center backs leaves, they're not going to be making a move for Jonathan Tah. And now Jonathan Tah is considering other options, even though he wanted to come to Barca. But seeing that Barca have not picked up the phone and made an offer, he's now considering other options. And it seems that Liverpool are seriously considering signing Tah. So it looks like this one could end up slipping away, which of course it wouldn't be a loss because Barcelona have plenty of center backs and plenty of talented center backs. So that's the news. I will be going live in a few more minutes because there is more news to cover. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment. And as always, Visca. Wait for it. Barca.